How's it going, my fellow super degenerates? Tommy stacking.nyc in the house. It's Tuesday night. It's time to talk. I'm a New Yorker. I'm always talking, so let's talk more. Why talk less when we can talk more? That's my motto. IG Slab Club, baby. IG Slab Club. Guys, give me a like, give me a subscribe, share this video. We're going to have a really good time tonight. We're going to be talking about dealing with major national retailers, major wholesalers. And what is it like to do it from a business perspective as a new and growing business? What's it really like? Many of you have dealt with me. Say hi. Say hi in the comments, guys. Give me a like. Let me know that you're here. You know, it's really, hey, Dean Ellis, how are you? It's really interesting. On social media, we develop and build these personal relationships through business. What's up, Charles? How are you? And it's really fascinating because really it's not much different in the business to business world. What's up, Ryan? Ryan, you'll be able to relate to a lot of this stuff. Mark in the house. And Ryan, Silverport, you might have some great thoughts on all of this. As a small business, as a growing business, and obviously Silverport, he is owner of Dixie Auto Parts in Athens, Alabama. Hey, Jay, this is a great one. You're going to love this. One of the hardest things to do when you're in business, particularly in the world of precious metals, it's to have constant supply. You need constant supply to be in business. Okay. I knew that from day one, right? I come from an entrepreneurial background. I owned a pizzeria for several years. Let's just use this one as an example. Hey, Tucker Mooney, what's up, Pops? Love you, man. Evening, Bodine, another one who'll be able to relate to a lot of this. But if I own a pizzeria and I can't get tomato sauce, I've got a problem. If I own a pizzeria and I can't get flour to make dough, that's a problem, right? If you are in the business of selling silver, if you're a dealer, right? If you don't have a constant supply, you don't have a business, right? And I realized this from my early days on Instagram. Hey, Glenn, how are you? Good to see you. Panhandle, great topic for you, brother. You guys are going to love some of this stuff. So one of the things I realized from day one, when I did sign on to Instagram, originally I didn't intend to do this as a business, not from day one. I certainly never imagined that it would be like this. Monetized hobby, sure. Something fun to do on the side to make a couple bucks. Yeah, why not? But never in my wildest dreams did I know that it would be like this. But one of the reasons it became like this is because of the things I applied from learning in previous business experiences. Supply, right? So in my early days, I did not have that. I did what everybody does. I was buying from Instagram. I was buying from eBay. I was buying from coin shops. And I said, this is really tough. Hey, Robert, how are you? It was really tough. And I said, we got to do something different here. And my first foray into getting a wholesale account actually was at a coin show. It was the ANA coin show in Philadelphia. I met a distributor, a wholesaler, retailer, struck up a conversation. I said, man, there's something really amazing happening on Instagram. I said, it's still in its early days. I said, but boy, there's something powerful there. So to put it in perspective, I signed on in March of 2018. This was August. So within 5 months, I realized how powerful what was happening on Instagram was. And I was talking to this guy, and he's younger than me, but he's second generation of a family-owned coin dealership, coin dealers, right? His father and uncle started the business, and they're doing multiples of 7 figures, nine. Let me do my math. 9 figures, a couple $100 million a year, let's say. And it's really amazing. And I was talking to him. I said, "Man, this is great. It's your family-owned business. I said, you have your nephew's working here. Your dad's here. Your uncles. It's really great. It's so beautiful." And we established a relationship. I bought some stuff from him at the coin show. Probably spent $800, $1,000, which to me at the time was like, oh my God, this is a big purchase. For me to sell. At that time, I wasn't even doing live auctions. But I was like, this is great. I'll do some post sales. I'm selling some stuff on the side. Let's go. In the very beginning, I mostly sold from my personal stack, because just like all silver degenerates, I started selling what I liked less to buy what I liked more. I was still, a full-blown silver degenerate stacker in it, So I was buying more than I was selling at that time, which I might be still, but that's another story. Anyway, meeting this gentleman changed my life. I said, look, I'm new. I said, but there's something powerful going on here. I'm not doing big numbers. Would you consider giving me wholesale pricing? I said, that would be a big jump for me. And the truth is, we built a relationship. And he was the first person to say, yeah, Tommy, I got you. Let's see what we can do with this. Wow. In those days, if I ordered $2,000 a week from him, it was a lot of money for me. I've had weeks now where I've ordered $75,000 in 3 years. Why? Because of the consistent supply. When you can offer 100 of something, when you can offer 200 of something, it's powerful. And that's why we need, in any type of a thriving business environment, you need to be dealing with somebody bigger than you, right? So in our case, here at the Instagram level, we need to be dealing with big bullion, if you will. We need to be dealing with the major nationals. There's not a way around it. Absent that, we don't have the inventory, right? So this segues me into the next point about dealing. I'm going to talk about different wholesalers, right? I won't mention any names, but you may figure some of them out, and some of them you'll never know, because I'll never tell. That's another story. The relationship I built with my friend, who I definitely now consider a friend, we've had lunch, a couple of times. It's about the relationships. Just like we build relationships, okay? At the dealer level, we build relationships also. They're very important. Very important. I'll never tell you his name, Terry Thrasher. You'll never get it from me, copper. But in all honesty, these relationships are the lifeblood of what we do on Instagram, but also what we do as businesses off of Instagram. Honesty, integrity. It's important at the dealer level also. And every dealer at the wholesale level is different. Boxy in the house. I'll be waiting for that video. Strumming for silver degenerates. Every wholesaler, right? I'm using wholesalers as a general term, right? Why? Because many retailers will have a wholesale operation where they are looking for people like me and others on Instagram, for example, who are moving some serious weight, where, they're not looking to sell 1 or 2 Eagles. They want to sell, 2,000 at a clip, 5,000 at a clip, 10,000 at a clip, depending on the wholesaler. They're all a little bit different. This community changes lives, Robert. It's thick with a very unique sound. That pick is special. I want to hear it. So dealing with all these different wholesalers, now I have several that I deal with. Nobody can deal with them all. You'll go crazy. Trust me. I have my hands full with about a steady, maybe half dozen that I deal with. And it's tough. It's about the relationships, right? Each one requires different payment. Okay. My initial wholesaler, he gives me 2-week terms. So if I call him tomorrow and say, I need 200 1/10 pieces of gold, okay, 25,000. I need this, all right, 15,000. Boom, boom, boom. All right, I have 2 weeks to pay him, and typically I have that inventory within a day or two, and then I have 2 weeks to send him a check. He says, no problem, send me a check. It's really peanut pimps. Ooh, yeah. Alicia, we love you. She loves you guys too. So there are some wholesalers that will give you terms. Okay. They want a paper check. There are some that will give you terms, but they want to be tapped into your bank account to do ACH withdrawal, right? And they're very good as long as you're within the terms. Hey, Tommy, can we run the check for this invoice? Done. Go run it. Right. So you always want to be considerate of your terms. Make sure you're within the guidelines. Some of them are like 9-10 days. Some of them are 2 weeks. And it's interesting. It really varies, and it can depend on your relationship. Sometimes it can depend on your relationships. So I have, like, for example, one wholesaler where I get my slabs. Most of my slabs come from a certain wholesaler, an amazing guy. He basically is for the most part a sole proprietor, as opposed to the family business. And these guys can be more flexible. They can be. And, he's incredible. And, you talk about relationships. One of my favorite stories with him was there was a release that came out on a certain slab, and he said, Tommy, I have this. I got a good price for you. Here you go. I said, oh, man, that's great. I said, I'll take 40 of them. He said, no, Tommy, you'll take 100 and you'll be back for more. Okay, send me 100. And he was right. So sometimes those relationships can help you. If I had not ordered the 100, I might have been frozen out of the additional 60. He wanted me to say yes, and he knew he was right before I did. Before I sold any, he knew what I was going to do. These guys are savvy. It's important to listen to your dealers. I try not to give advice like this. In the business world, where it's like relationships, business to business, it's a little bit different because he can see bigger trends, right? I can see narrowly what's happening on Instagram, but he's a wholesaler. So he's dealing with retailers who own coin shops. He's dealing with retailers who are exclusively on eBay. He's dealing with some major websites, as a matter of fact. And he sees larger trends. When he speaks, I listen. Same with many of my other accounts. Hey, Tommy, this is going to be a hot piece. You need this. Yes, I will listen. And it's very important to have that honest, open communication with your dealer. Guys, if you ever ask me my opinion, I'll probably give it to you. I try to play coy with it, and that's no secret because I don't want to be an influencer. I want people to be free of pressure and to make up their own minds and to stack as they will. Communication is key. I do listen. I really do try, Brett. Panhandle stacking, you're the man. It's really important. There seems to be no wholesalers in Canada. Every time I talk to dealers, they tell me they order either from Royal Canadian Mint directly for large dealers or from Kitco. Silverholic, that is absolutely correct. And I have not looked into a relationship with the Canadian Mint yet. I have not looked into any Mint direct relationships. At my level, they may not be as easy as dealing with a wholesaler. Each Mint will have its criteria to do direct purchases. The U.S. Mint to deal with as a wholesaler is almost impossible. I believe the number is 13. Only 13 entities in the United States are what they call authorized purchasers, basically people who can buy wholesale from the U.S. Mint. The U.S. Mint has been raising its premiums. So that's something that I've been talking about for a year. It's really important to pay attention to these trends at the wholesale level, at the retail level, everywhere. Guys, when I tell you things, listen to it, digest it, listen to all, follow none. Very important. it's the government at the end of the day, Jeff. Uh, yeah, exactly. Silverholic. That's correct. And the U.S. Mint is far bigger. These guys are dealing at astronomical numbers. You know, when you're the U.S. Mint and you're pumping out 30, 40, 50 million Eagles in a year, you don't want to sell them one at a time. Might take you a while. You know, but that just ties back into the policies, all right, of the flexibility of a family-owned company or a sole proprietorship or a major national retailer that has a wholesale division. Sometimes, even though you have relationships, like I have some beautiful relationships at these wholesale levels where it's, you know, I get to know these guys like I get to know you. Oh, how are the kids? Oh, how's your latest build going? You know, or whatever. And sometimes, even though as busy as we all are, we try to take 5 minutes, just like I try to take time with you guys. Those human relationships will always rule the day, in my opinion. You know, at in any business, it's something that I was raised with, coming from an entrepreneurial family. Relationships are everything. Guys, 20 people in here, 13 likes. Who's slacking? I want names. No, I don't. No, I do want names. I want to see you commenting. I want to see you hitting the like button too, though. You know, all these things are interesting. So, talking about policies or this or that, something interesting happened recently. I'm developing another wholesale relationship, and because of COVID, nobody's in the office. They're all working remotely. They're all doing this. They're all doing that. And, you know, everybody's different with that as well. So I said, thank you. So something interesting happened, right? And I'm going to talk about this in terms of, you know, relationships, problems, uh, growing pains, however you want to express it, dealing with versus family-owned businesses. This particular wholesaler, you know, we've had a relationship for a little over a year, and I've just started to explore it more and work more with them. And they're only accepting wire transfers only, right? So this month, whatever I'm doing, I'm wiring the money. Okay, got it. Boom, I wire, they ship. You know, which can sort of stink sometimes because a wire's $30, you know? And I know that sounds petty, right? When you're putting a $6,000 order in. But when you're doing that once every 2 weeks, at the end of the year, that's $800. That could be $900, $1,000 at the end of the year. So it's important because every business is a business of pennies. And that's why we have to deal with big bullion and wholesalers, right? X out of the chat. Okay. I miss Jay's pouring lives too. He's talented. So an interesting thing happened. I get the invoice for my wire today. I said, you don't take paper checks, anything? Like, no. But here's the thing, right? So this is going to tie into both relationships and policies. So only wires. I go to send the wire, and my bank, I get an alert in my app, and it says, you are over your monthly limit. Oh boy, that's a problem. All right, so I call him back up and I said, listen, I'm going to work on this. You know, so I'm a little bit embarrassed too, but he's great. You know, he knows I'm growing and they're willing to work with me. So I call my bank and I said, how do I fix this? Well, we can't raise your limit. Well, if I go to my branch, can they raise the limit? No. What? What are you talking about? You know, so it became a little tricky. Oh, well, you have to order this device, and it's like a dual authentication thing. This is what they're telling me. And I'm like, oh my Lord. I said, well, when does the next amount drop off where I can send more? In the meantime, while I'm waiting for this device, Monday at 4:30. So I reached out and I said, hey, you know, I'm really a little bit embarrassed. I was very honest. I said, this is the situation. Can I please just pay Monday? Now, this is a long time, for a new relationship. No problem, Tommy, but here's what I want you to do. Here's the email for the accounting department and for this person. And, he gave me a couple emails. He said, please email them and explain to them and articulate what's going on. And I did. They're fine, but you talk about policies. They don't take ACH. They don't want a paper check. But here's the other thing, though, that was interesting. He said, I have to be honest with you, Tommy. He says, this is going to be fine. He says, you're going to be fine. He says, you're growing. We know what's going on with you. We know you're fine, right? He said, but I got to tell you, he said, since we stopped taking paper checks, he said, we're making less mistakes. Now I'm talking to a major operation. And I said, mistakes? I said, it's really sort of good to hear you say that. I said, I make mistakes sometimes. And he laughed and he said, we're all human. And that's what I say too, right? We're all human, even though I try not to be. But it was really incredible to hear a $1 billion company, and I'm talking to them and, talking to the vice president of marketing, and he's saying, yeah, we're making mistakes with paper checks. And now that's almost entirely eliminated. Wow. So it really felt good to hear that in a way. It was sort of, validates like, I don't like making mistakes. And I do. I make a few mistakes a week. Sometimes it's a math error. Sometimes it's I forget to ship somebody, oh, geez. Sometimes it happens. And, it's embarrassing. But it happens with the big boys too. It happens at the wholesale level. I ordered 75 tenths of gold, right? I opened up my package. This is very recently. Open up my package, and there's 3 tubes. And I said, oh, great, 25 in a tube, right? And I'm flipping it up. And then I realized there's 60 total. There is 20 in a tube. Most business banking accounts offer low cost or free wires. They require minimum balance. That is, for PM dealers, reasonable. I have to look into that. I have to see what I can do because I would probably qualify. Hey, Pegleg in the house, WB. Yeah, I make mistakes. I make all kinds of mistakes. You guys know me. But the most important thing is to always make it right. And just like when people call me up and say, Tommy, I don't know how you did it, but you missed a piece. No questions asked. Now I'm going to ask questions now that the cat's out of the bag. But I always make it right. I always make sure everybody gets everything they paid for. And it was funny because you're missing 15, tenths of gold. That's thousands of dollars. And I called my guy up and I said, hey, I said, I think I know what happened because I automatically assumed they were tubes of 25, but you only sent 3 tubes. There were no loose ones. He says, you're right. I'll get you the 15 out today. I said, yeah, but give me a couple days. I said, I'll put another order and you can just send them in with that order. And he loved it that I took the pressure off of him. It's a little relationship build, right? Not where's my gold? It's like, hey, I think, I probably made the same sort of error that you did, and so on. But he was great about it, just like any dealer should be, whether they're retailing to you or they're wholesaling to me, right? That's super important. Honesty, integrity, that communication, and how you approach people. People can be, angry if they're missing something, and understandably, they can be upset if something's wrong with their order, But if we approach somebody like we're upset, they're going to become defensive, So I think it's an important, way to communicate when you're in business, particularly, and especially when we do business on social media, because so much can get lost in a DM. A lot of my wholesalers I speak to on the phone. Multitasking, and so it's really important to understand that. And it just feels good to know that these big guys make mistakes too. We all do. We are all human. And always make sure you're dealing with a dealer that will make the mistakes right, that will be understanding, that will be patient. And you know what? That's one of the things that I am so grateful for in this community is that when I make a mistake, you guys are wonderful. I'm going to do, I'm always going to do the right thing. But, it's still upsetting to you. I know that because I've been there. I'm still there sometimes. When I saw 60 pieces of gold instead of 75, of course I was a little bit upset initially. And the first thing that goes through your mind is, he's not going to believe me. But that's why we have cameras. That's why we have cameras. So if there's, even a question, we can check the footage. So that's really important. I just thought that this would be a great topic of conversation. Just like I met my first wholesaler at a coin show, and he was so great to me, and we've built a fantastic relationship over the last 3 years. The next one I tried to get, major national retailer. They, I cold called them. Hey, Jason Randall in the house. Thank you, Budget Bullion Stacker. Human beings, all of us, for sure. Let me go through some of these comments. We all make mistakes. That is true. My ADD is a superpower. That could be a whole talk. And I will do the right thing always. And that's exactly right. Boxy, when I started the Golds Clubs, the first week I was, let's just say, ill-prepared. And I had help, and those poor guys, it was chaos. It was a disaster. But you know something? It took that chaos for me to realize how to implement a system to remove the chaos. I was like, okay, this is what's wrong. Sometimes you need a problem for a solution, right? Otherwise, you're not going to come up with it organically always. But it was really crazy. That chaos, and they were stressed. They wanted to kill me. I wanted to kill myself and everybody else around me. I don't like using those words, but you know what I mean. And it took me 1 week to have that system down. And I was like, this is how we're going to do it, guys. And the next week, they were so happy. They were like, big shift, Tommy. I'm like, problem, solution. I apologize for the chaos. We will get this. And ever since then, the clubs have been smooth as glass for the most part. Sometimes there's a shipping delay from a wholesaler. That can happen. Occasionally, as much as you should listen to your dealers, sometimes always remember they're in the business to sell. They're going to invoice you. Yeah, you're going to pay. And I'm like, hey, did that ship? I kind of need it for my people. Oh, yeah, it shipped the next day. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's shipped. Let me double check. Oh, no, it's shipping tomorrow. And, sometimes they don't even have the product and they forget to tell you. And that's okay. We're all in the business to sell. And as long as there's no major disruption, it's no harm, it's no foul. Sometimes a package is a day or two late. I strive for, getting stuff out as quick as I can always. But sometimes the package is a day or two late. I always, with my apologies and with my love, it will get there in a timely fashion. Hey, Ben Renfield, how are you? I do try to be thorough. So, what kind of questions do you guys have? I'm trying to keep these nights limited to like a half hour, 45 minutes. Hey, Jeff, how are you? What kind of questions do you have? Do any of you have questions? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to finish the story about the second. Not my speed, Jeff. And even when I was stacking, collecting, that kind of stuff was never my speed, personally. But it's wildly popular. To each their own. That's why my opinion doesn't matter. And that's why I try to refrain from giving it. But so the second wholesale account I tried to open was a cold call. I said, hey, this is Tommy, stacking.nyc, and I want to open up a wholesale account. And, you're excited. Business is growing a little bit because my first wholesaler helped me with the consistent supply. Now I'm ready to take another little baby step up. And he said, oh, where's your coin shop? Nah, I don't have a coin shop. Well, where do you sell coins if you don't have a coin shop? Well, Instagram, Facebook. And I said, oh, okay. We're going to call you back, Stacking NYC. And they sure did. Silver Switch, I love Libertads. That's probably my favorite. I do sell Silver Degenerates merch. The page is on Instagram. at silverdegenerates.merch. Not quite ready to roll yet. Close. So they said, if you don't have a coin shop, you stop on Instagram. Well, they treated me like, what's that? So he calls me back and he says, we're not able to approve your application at this time. I said, really? I said, okay, why? He said, it's not even about the money. He said, one of the things that we don't like is that you refer to stacking as a hobby. And I said, well, absolutely. And I said, if you don't, I said, you're missing a very important nuance. And I said, I know it's not, because this is a big corporation. I said, I know it's not your personal decision. I said, I'm not taking this personally from you. I said, but, it's, sort of short-sighted if you're not seeing that market. He said, I'm not going to disagree with you. He said, but I just can't do it at this time. Needless to say, there was some intervention. There were some conversations. And a week later, they decided to give it a shot. This was not even my biggest wholesaler last year. And I gave them about $200,000 worth of business. And they're probably like my number 2 or 3. So they were willing and ready to write off what was happening on Instagram, even when many of us saw what was happening. And those days, guys, are gone. None of these companies, not the billion-dollar companies, not the $100 million companies, none of them are blind anymore to what's happening on Instagram. So that's a real feather in our collective cap for what we have all collectively done there, through hard work, through support, through content, through supporting content creators. This has been a huge collective community effort that has really raised the bar. And, the Silver Degenerates movement is changing the face of the metals industry for sure. That's what it's all about for me too, Boxes, from day one. They almost pulled a blockbuster, right? For sure. Any idea what kind of a chunk social media sellers have taken out of big bullion website purchases? Jay, I think I don't think that's a real thing. I know that sounds crazy, but the market is so many billions of dollars annually, and every business, wholesale, retail, Instagram has grown in the last year. One has not hurt another. If you look at the way the sellers on Instagram, including myself, have grown over the last 3 years to become real small businesses, from my kitchen counter to needing extra space to, a basement to I need a vault and I have a room for supplies. It's become a real small business. And at the same time, it's happening for other Instagram sellers. Nobody can take away anybody else's business. And this is something I said many times. Only you can take away from your own business. And that's why I don't buy into jealousy or emotion. You work hard, you work smart, you market well, you brand yourself well, you are kind, courteous, respectful to people. That will resonate. Period. So I don't think that it's, one or the other. I think that the pie is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't think there's any damage. I don't think they're afraid of what's happening on Instagram. I think that they're just fine. Some of these retailers I'm doing a significant amount of business with. My growth has been their growth. And yeah, some wholesalers give you great prices and some don't. Policies, different levels, right? And sometimes you can negotiate. Here's an example. One of my guys, and always remember, guys, it's not always about the money. Loyalty is important. One of my wholesalers, my main guy, he priced me out on something that I wanted like 200 pieces of. And I said, I got to be honest with you. I said, I can get it $1 cheaper somewhere else. Do you have any room? Right? This is like 150 pieces. And he said, I really don't, Tommy. He says, I think you know that if I did, I would do it for you. He says, but I don't. I said, you know what? I'll still take them. And he knew I could have, gotten it $1 cheaper. But for the $150, I'd rather do business with this person. Period. The end. And that's super important. Thinking of opening a bullion bar store when I retire in a few years. Any advice on how to get started? Check out my business video from, like, was it last week or the week before? That's a good one. I'm also always happy to answer general questions, but I would say remember that it's about relationships. Remember, it's about hard work. It's about consistency. Tuesdays is normally a shorter day for me. Today it's going to be about 14 hours, so I guess it will be a shorter day for me. Tomorrow's going to be more than 15, I'm sure. Okay? It's really about hard work. Are you getting up earlier than the guy next to you? Are you going to bed later than the guy next to you? Are you being kinder to people than the guy next to you? Are you being honest when you have a problem? You're being more honest than the guy next to you. Some people deceive. Not intentionally, it's more like a white lie. But if I know something's going to be late, I do my best to tell you, hey, this is going to be a day late, guys, or 2 days late. I apologize. I was fully expecting it, and I don't have it. And that's why I invoice on Tuesdays and ship on Wednesdays, right? Sometimes I need that extra day. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm prepared. As a small business, it can be really hard. And the truth is, it happens to the big boys too. Wholesalers require, the mints, to be honest. Sometimes things get held up in customs. So a delay isn't always due to dishonesty. I can fully expect to receive something. It could be late in the mail. It's hard to, like, let's say if my invoicing days are Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? Consistency, right? Important for business. If I'm expecting something on a Thursday and I invoice for it, and then it doesn't come till Saturday, it messes up my rhythm. I cannot break my consistency, though, right? Because if I start shipping on a Saturday, it's actually going to throw me off further than anything. So that consistency to my process actually helps me deliver better service. If I tell you something's going to be late a day or two, trust me, it's better than me getting it out of my rhythm, because that would really, it could be not damaging, but disruptive. When you have processes in place, speaking of opening up a shop, have processes in place, you have to try not to deviate from them. Policies, processes, because it can cause ripple effects that can be harmful to the big picture. Integrity is doing this right even when, oh boy, yep, for sure. I do not wear a box on my head, but I do wear an awesome JP Metals hat or a Premier Rare Coins hat, some of my favorites, or a Toro hat sometimes for Silverport because I love them. Wanted to expand and grow my bullion buying selling business so bad, but Jersey, it can. Jersey has taxes. Once you have an LLC and a reseller certificate, you should be exempt from paying sales tax on your wholesale accounts. So look into that, NJ. Playing with the D, agree, but we'll stay. Boxing is heavy. Yeah, I mean, that's for sure. And it's empty. Would you ever charge taxes? I am as compliant as I am capable of being, legally compliant, 100%. 100%. Every state has a different requirement for taxes. In some states, if you don't sell over 100,000 a year, you are exempt. So the answer is, if I'm required by law to charge sales tax or any kind of tax, yes, I do it. I am compliant. Period. The end. So, Silverport, it might be in the works. I don't know. Florida does charge a lot of taxes. You got to get Ron DeSantis on board to make bullion exempt. Then he should be down for that. Guys, what kind of questions do you have? Besides, do I wear a box on my head? I love you. Adam. So degenerates Matt. Like, whoops. I hate when that happens. Love it. Do I plan on doing any more clubs on Instagram like Copper? The answer is Copper was not a consideration, is not a consideration at the moment. I've been toying with, here you go, you're going to hear it first. I've been toying with doing, I got another good topic about the wholesalers too. I've been toying with doing a couple of other things. I was toying with doing a weight club, meaning for people who want to order like 40 ounces or more at a time. No, I did not change the batteries yet. A lot of them, Ben, they don't go by money per se. They really don't. They want to see certain things, but they don't say, okay, you must. You know, like I said, it goes back to the relationships. It goes back to honesty. You know, when I talked to these guys, I was, you know, when I built my first wholesale account, you know, it was tricky. I didn't know how much I needed from them. I didn't know how much I was going to sell. I didn't know how fast my business was going to grow. I just sort of knew that there was something there. I just sort of knew that there was something there, meaning on Instagram with this community. And it's powerful. Well, Robert, I will say this. I think, my opinion, it's important to have a balanced stack, but I believe stacking should come from a positive place of passion and enjoyment above everything else. So yes, it's nice to, like, let's say, stack buffaloes or this or that, but it gets boring, right? You don't want to lose that passion. The collector's pieces are great for that, and that's why I support that and people buying what they like. Shot. It's not that I don't carry it. It's really hard. Exactly, NJ. It's really hard to get shot right now, from what I'm seeing. Cheap shot, especially. Yeah, Bodine. Like, I was sort of thinking like a 10-ounce bar club. The problem is, you know, I don't mind, like, let's say, you know, making a nominal amount on a volume deal. There are also like liability issues and so on. Look, and let's be honest. From a business perspective, you don't want to take away from more profitable places and shift entirely to less profitable places. So, like, the clubs are less profitable for me than, like, let's say the auction. That's no secret, guys. You know, or if it is a secret to you, it is no longer. If it was a secret to you, it is no longer. You know, my auctions tend to be more profitable than, say, the clubs, and that's why I try not to be greedy in the auctions. You know, I stop things, and, you know, I'm happy with a certain number, and you know, I do fine. But the thoughts on precious metals or script. You know, I talked about this last night, and my video got deleted for Musica. I don't know what happened. I didn't think anybody could hear it, but Instagram's got pretty big ears, Grandma. All the better to hear you with. So, you know, I will be talking more about precious metals versus crypto as we go forward with this interesting journey. Do you sell on Facebook and eBay or IG? Okay, so I've sold everywhere, meaning eBay, my website, Facebook. I've done a lot with silver miners. Never on Reddit. Another forum I sold a bit on in the early days, even OfferUp. Okay, I try to stay away from eBay except for this. And here's a good bit of information for you in terms of eBay. the fees are horrible. eBay it's a tough model, right? But I will say that there is no better place for comps. And also, there's no better place for brand exposure. Listen carefully. If you are establishing a business and you want brand exposure, eBay is huge. eBay is huge. So the truth is, Silver Switch, I just put up a listing on eBay. Is probably the first thing I listed in 3 years. And I did it just for that reason, as a test. I wanted to see where it was at, so to speak. Haven't sold anything yet. And of course, I have to raise the price from what I would sell it for on Instagram, right? To break even, I've got to raise the price. It's that crazy, the fees. So I'm doing it more for brand exposure, and I'm testing the waters. I definitely recommend eBay for that. Don't count on it for sales. I know there are people who do well with it. The auctions are great. The auctions are entertaining. Will I take crypto as payment? Probably not anytime soon as a policy. Have I ever? Yes. Do I regret it? I regret nothing. I'm afraid of nothing. No emotion, right? In anything we do except the joy of it. Any tips on finding resale deals for smaller scale resellers that don't have wholesale accounts, reseller certificates, and LLCs? Okay, NJ, I would say this. Before I had my wholesale accounts, when I was buying on eBay, other places to resell, here, I mean, this is not a secret. You want to get the best price, you've got to spend some money. So you better be buying 100 at a time, 200 at a time, and no matter where you buy, or let me rephrase that, no matter how you're buying, whether it's eBay or from a retailer, if you buy 100, you're going to get a great price or a better price than if you bought 1 or 5. That's just, Econ 101, right? The more you buy, the cheaper it's going to get. So my only advice, unfortunately, is every deal, just roll the money back into your business. If you make $100 your first week, don't pat yourself on the back. Take that $100, buy more inventory. Use it as leverage. Don't go out for a steak dinner. Right? You need 3 years to do that. But truth. Here I'll tell you a funny story. When I first started doing this, I was with my ex, and she's like, "I don't understand what you're doing. This is crazy. This is insanity." And she's looking around. She's like, "Are you even making any money?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so. And she said, "Where is it?" And I held up a box of silver. And I said, "It's right here." I said, "It's right here." And I wasn't joking. I wasn't being facetious. I wasn't being a jerk. I said, I've dollar cost averaged this box down to where it has almost cost me nothing. And there's, maybe 100 ounces in here at that time. And I said, this is all profit. Once I've dollar cost averaged something down to 0, it's profit. Unrealized profit in accounting terms, it's called unrealized profit, but profit nonetheless, especially when you're dealing with something as liquid as precious metals. I'm sorry I say a lot, guys. I have to try to break I've been told, I've been forewarned, stop saying but I try to read the I also try to read the comments. 3K to get started, absolutely. Pick eBay inventory wisely, correct. Asa Harris, that's 272 Global. Devil Dog Dave in the house, Panel Stacking. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these things, that's the best advice I can give. What kind of steps do you think you need to take to continue to grow your business? My business, I know what I need to do. It's a matter of brand expansion and doing a little bit less on Instagram. Or the truth is, I've all but plateaued on Instagram, guys. I will have a hard time absent automation, and don't be afraid of that word. Absent automation, I can't do much more on Instagram, and I refuse to not be somewhat social. I mean, you guys know I love to chat, and I'm not doing it as much. Hey, Silver Husky, good to see you, man. I'm not doing it as much as I used to, but I'm trying. And for me to grow, I need automation of the invoicing process, and that's a challenge because it requires better inventory. There are dominoes that ducks that have to be lined up in a row, so to speak. It would require better inventory management. That would allow me to automate my invoicing. So I've got level 2 problems that I have to work through. Those solutions, they will eliminate most mistakes. So definitely need automation of the invoicing process, payment process that integrates with my shipping. That gives me free time to talk. If I can send you an email like I do now for tracking, if I can say, hey, here's what you got, click this link to PayPal me. You do it, I get a notification, shipped D&L Ellis, done, right? I don't have to take a picture. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. I don't have to staple invoices, boom, all these things that I do now. It'll save me that time where I can be like, oh, hey, how are the kids? Has your daughter's fever broken? Or how's your wife? I know she was having some health issues. Or how are you feeling? And that's what I really want, guys, because I don't care how, I've said this from day one, I don't care how big I ever get. And trust me, I'm ambitious, but I never want to feel disconnected from this community. Not from this community that's changed my life. I used to sell 1 gram of silver and make $1 after all the fees and shipping. Making $1 on a gram is pretty good, I would say. People that sell for me, that's tricky. Hueso, what up? Jason Randall, this isn't Toastmasters, just do you. Well, I mean, listen, you talk about business, let's be honest. This is social media. We do business on social media. The first word, keyword, social. It's what we all crave. It's what makes what we do special. And if you ignore that or lose touch with that, it's not going to be good, right? So that's how I feel in my heart from a personal level. I don't want to lose my connections here. From a business perspective, also, I think that it's crucial. This is the way I chose to do business on social media. You've been cataloging and it's so hard. Inventory is impossible. From a digital perspective, if you have a website, my goal initially was I want 20,000 items. I don't care if I just have the picture and I don't have it. I want people to be able to see it. I'm like, oh, am I out of my mind? My website going forward, guys, might have 20 products, 30 products. I don't know exactly, but it's not going to have much more than that. I will continue to sell on Instagram. I will continue to sell other places, but my website for right now, the strategy is to just have X, Y, and Z, and not overdo it. I've thought about an app, and I've had a couple people actually talk me out of it. I was in negotiations to develop an app, a proprietary Stacking NYC app, and multiple people said to me, including some people in this community who are very tech savvy. I said, Tommy, how many apps do you have on your phone? Oh, I don't know, man, 100. How many do you use? 8. There you go. People have app fatigue. They have app overload. He said, you have a website. Develop your website. I was like, okay, makes sense. I kind of get it. Why not? Hey, thanks, John Fox. I appreciate that, man. I love you, brother. Email communication is easy to keep track of. Removes error, removes, I don't want to say wasted time, but it streamlines efficient processes. Guys, 36 people in here, 28 likes. I'm going to find every one of those 8 people. I know who you are. You're in this room. Click the like button, guys. I love you guys. Silver Degenerates, amen, baby. We have to be social. Yes, definitely love the connection. You can buy anywhere, but you can't buy a connection. Mike, that is the gospel truth. Oh, Sergio, there we go. Yep, that's it, Nestor. Would you recommend any inventory software? Skew down. The answer is no. At our level, it's hard. A company like AppMex or Jam Bullion, they need it. They've got thousands of SKUs, and even they're trying to skew down. Meaning that means lower the number of items that they're selling per se. Adam, absolutely. Social media, it's important. I learned something. Man, this is like 11, 12 years ago. I was selling real estate in New York City. And, this is a time when the internet is getting stronger and stronger, and Facebook was really coming into its own, 2010, 2011. And Google was such a big thing. And we would have team meetings and we'd say, there's no such thing as a secret anymore. All right. There's no such thing as a secret. So you can either work with people in an honest way and provide additional value added, or they can do it themselves. It's the truth. In the old days, lawyers, realtors. I mean, we can have doctors online now. You can just Google Health MD and find out what's making you sick. It's absurd. It's really taken arcane knowledge and given it to everybody. And when that happens, you can either embrace it and enjoy it and be part of that beautiful sharing of knowledge, or you can fight it and you're going to lose. So to me, I will do as much as I can be to be helpful, because like I've told, there's a conversation I have with poor artists all the time. We all work hard. We all work hard, and we develop ourselves at different levels and different speeds. And poor artists, would say to me, oh, Tommy, so-and-so reached out for help, or, they told me that you said to ask me this question or that question. I said, absolutely. I said, you should tell them the answers. Well, why should I tell them the answers? I've worked hard to do X, Y, and Z, and why should I just hand it to them? I said, the answer is very simple. I said, because if you say no, if you tell them to pound sand, they're going to pound sand. I said, and guess what? They're going to figure it out. If they really have the passion, they really have the drive, they really have the desire, they will figure it out, and they're going to remember that you told them to pound sand. There's going to be no relationship. There'll be maybe some ill will, like, forget that guy. And if you now, conversely say, yeah, let me help you. If they're fueled by that passion, that desire, that drive, and they're going to remember. They'll collaborate with you. They'll help promote you. Artists can work together too. And so I believe that putting that knowledge out there, whether it's talking about wholesale accounts, whether it's talking about, helping develop small businesses, it's important. Guys, any question you can ask me, you can ask Google, right? Let's be real. I mean, you might not find it from a practical perspective, but at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt me to help you. Plus, I don't know many people that can outwork me. So there you go. That's the other secret. Jay Jeffrey, that's right. I remember everyone who slammed the door in my face, and you also remember the people that opened it up for you. I know that I do. I know that I do, and I am grateful. And I am grateful. Thank you, Jeff. They're look. It's like I tell people. Sometimes you pay a little bit extra. Sometimes you pay a little bit less. At the end of the day, what we have here is beautiful. And if everybody on Instagram only counted every penny, there would be no content creators. There's no incentivization for us to do what we do if we're not making money, right? I have a little. Thanks, Brett. I'll take a little bit better than Google. Let no one outwork you. Amen. That's right, Jay. All right. So, man, we're at about an hour, guys. even a little bit longer, but I'm really enjoying this. I like the YouTube format. Nestor, unfortunately, I don't. And one of these days I will talk about that. You know, uh, there are downsides to the way I am a workaholic. Um, I don't always eat well. I don't always sleep well. I don't take care of myself the way I should. At times, it's been bad for my mental health. I'm hyper driven. I don't know how to take a break sometimes. And some of this behavior can be unhealthy, both physically and emotionally. Absolutely. You know, and you have to walk a mile in somebody's shoes to understand. People can look at you and say, "Oh, Tommy, you make it look so easy, and you know you're successful or this or that." The anxiety is real. You know, I put a lot of pressure on myself to produce for people that trust me with their money, and it can be tough, guys. I come to the floor and abuse my liver. Absolutely, that's my balance. There you go, Adam. Jay is outstanding. I love Jay. Absolutely. Do it now to relax later in life. Robert, that is part of my drive. I've been successful in life. I've lost it. I'm sort of the last year or so in a rebuilding period, and that has actually added to my drive because I was behind. The only reason I don't have anxiety per se, don't misunderstand me. Um, my anxiety is the pressure to produce, right? I don't know if you can see this, but you know, this is all for tomorrow, right? That's all invoiced. You know, I have a lot of orders. This doesn't count. I have two full tubs. I've already printed. Some of you in here may have already gotten, but two full ones of these upstairs already because I know that tomorrow 5 a.m. comes early, and I'm going to be worn. I'm going to be worn out, but I think I have a little extra help tomorrow that I don't always have on Wednesdays, and we're going to get it done. And because people trust me with their money, I will not take that lightly. I will make sure that every person I can possibly ship when I say I'm going to ship will get shipped as much as I can control that. So my anxiety is more like it's self-induced pressure to perform. And your heart should never be broken, Dinos. It's not easy. Glenn, thank you very much. Stacker's Corner. IG Gold Club, absolutely. Clones DMs, we talk, we love. Thank you, Nestor. But yeah, so we'll wrap this up, guys. I'll let you get back to your families or your balance. And you know, I have to tell you, I love doing this. I love my Tuesday night lives with you guys, and I'm going to tell you, it was funny because I was so stressed out earlier, and Alicia was fantastic. She's like, "You need to relax. Everything's going to get done." I'm like, "I know everything's going to get done," and you know, taking this commitment on to do these types of chats with all of you, it does add a little bit of pressure, right? Because all of a sudden, I'm worried about shipping tomorrow. Now, oh, I got to go live at 8:30 on a night that I'm not selling. And she said, "Well, skip it." I said, "I can." She's like, "But do you enjoy it?" And I said, "Here's the thing, right? I feel a little anxious because I know I got this pressure of going live." I said, "But once I do it, I mean, guys, if you can't tell that I'm enjoying this by the look on my face, you're not paying attention. I love this." But yeah, you know, beforehand, it can be like, it's sort of like getting on a roller coaster, right? It's like, I gotta get on a roller coaster. And then when you're doing it, you're like, yeah, right? And that's sort of how I feel. I'm like shipping, I'm like, I gotta go live. And all of a sudden it's like, here we go. Here we are, my fellow super degenerates. I'm with you. This is where I belong. So talk to me. Any more questions before we all get out of here? And I'll go back to shipping. I do enjoy it. I do love this. with my heart and soul. This community is 100% everything to me. Second only to my daughters. It is a lot of fun. But any more questions before I wrap up? Otherwise, guys, I love you. You can always hit me up privately with any questions you might have. I'm always happy to help. I always do what I can. I'll always do what I can. You know, and I know sometimes it doesn't feel like enough to me because I'm hyper-driven, but we'll get it done. Budget Bully Stacker Bunches, Precious Metal 272, Plant with a D. I love you guys. Mike Chase, Nuster, Gambit 47. Love you, love you, love you all. I will talk to you tomorrow. We have thoughts on the new Morgan. Not for me, but I won't knock it because a lot of people love it. Tomorrow night, Premier Rare Coins. That guy always brings some fire to the Wednesday night dual auctions. Check it out. Choo-choo. Love you, Robert. Check out tomorrow night's auction with Premier Rare Coins. Only on Instagram, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See, I didn't see Central that time. I know what time zone I'm in now, though. We love you. Dean Nellis, Brett, love you, man. Have a good night, guys. How you stacking?